Hi, everybody. Okay, so I've been challenged all week to share my testimony, and I have been resisting it. I have not been wanting to do the work that it takes. Y'all know what it's like, but I have not been getting a lot of sleep at night. Maybe it shows. And so I need to sleep at night. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with editing. So bear with me. I wrote a book, and you can see it in the background, shameless plug, and it talks about how I came to know God, and I talk about the trajectory of my life, primarily after I became a Christian. But what I don't go into too much depth in is what I came out of, what I came out of. And so I want to spend a little bit of time on this video, not long, talking about my beloved parents. They are now both deceased, and I love them. I love them dearly. They were good people and they meant well. But I have to say this. I have to say this, and this is especially important in today's climate. My parents, my father in particular, he taught me, and he was very intentional about it, but he taught me to love my skin color. He taught me to love it almost in an obsessive way, almost in a worshipful way. And maybe it was worship. I mean, we had songs that we sang, and I tell you a little bit about it in my book, that I was raised as part of a community that was a microcosm in Black America, and we went to school together. We went to social events together. We were a church without Jesus. And what we worshiped was our Blackness. And we sang songs about it. And my father and his peers felt like this was necessary. This is what they could do to combat what they perceived as racism and systemic institutional racism designed to keep Black people in America at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. And so they did what they thought was necessary. And part of that, a huge part of that, was a very hyper focus on Black consciousness, learning about our ancestry and our history. And I'll tell you guys, that was great for me. And for many of us, we went on to go out into the world and do great things. And so to some extent, it really worked. But at the same time, there were many, many Black Americans who went out into the world and did great things, right? And so this was just one way and one method that was used back then to train up a segment of the Black population in such a way that we would possess the level of confidence in ourselves and our abilities to go out into the broader American landscape and to graduate college and to move out into the professional domain with a sense of purpose and with accomplishment. And many of us were successful. Were all of us successful? No, of course not. But also, there were others who were using other paths and journeying in other ways, other Black Americans who chose a different path, and those paths led to success as well. Well, my testimony has to do with what I learned, what my parents taught me around skin color, and how my Blackness was to be regarded in America in order to get ahead. And the reason why I'm talking about this and I'm sharing it with you today is because while it was a method used back then in the 70s and the 80s, and it worked for many people, this reversion to it now and this insistence on incorporating it into our paradigm today as Black people is harmful. I believe that it is not the way to go. And I want to talk a little bit about why. And I hope you hang out with me, and I hope you listen. I hope you comment if you choose to comment. I think it is time, especially for Christian Americans, to come together just as we are instructed to do in the Bible. And I'm going to talk about why. And so stay with me, and I look forward to sharing more.